Yo guys, what is up? My name is Grizzly, and today I'm gonna bring you another League of Legends video. In this video I'm actually playing on one of my highest rated accounts, which currently sits in, I think, like the middle of Diamond 2. I actually demoted yesterday, but I had some couple of good games as well, and this was one of them for sure. And what this video is about is basically a matchup video, where I'm gonna show you how to play a certain matchup. So this matchup is against Gnar, and as you can see I start Corrupting Potion in this matchup because he will harass me quite a bit throughout the first couple of minutes in the laning phase, and Gnar of course starts Doran's Blade because he doesn't really have any other alternatives that are viable. Now Darius is typically pretty weak in melee versus ranged matchups because they can harass him for free, and if you can't get his Q off very reliably, he will lose a lot of health and he won't be able to sustain the lane. But Gnar is a very specific example where, as you can see there, I actually hit the Q, I get the grab on him and I harass him a bit. Now you could say that Gnar actually misplayed there, but it's not that easy in this matchup because my hook range is actually longer than his auto attack range for the first few levels, because mini Gnar's auto attack range actually scales with level, but throughout level 1 through 11 or something like that, he actually outranges his auto attacks. So it will be a very good time for you if you just consistently land your hook. You can get your Q off and maybe stack your passive 3 or 4 times, and you will basically win every trade that way. As you can see there, however, if he predicts my hook and he actually is away, he won't get hooked. Now before, they actually had a thing where if my hook initiates the same time that his kind of dash does, he actually starts to jump away, but then he gets hooked the full distance. They fixed that now, so if you do it at the same time, he won't get hooked at all, so you have to be one step ahead of him. Here I actually go for a gank, and my E wasn't cooldown there, so it was a little bit awkward, but we still get his flash. So that's fine. And as you can see in this matchup, I actually don't have to drop any CS or play that far back. I can basically just play the lane as I would in any other matchup. I just pretty much try to last hit as much as I can and get harassed on him while I can. Now as far as the scaling in the 1 versus 1, I actually think that this matchup gets better for me the further it goes. However, when Gnar gets Black Cleaver and Frozen Mallet, and if he's really good at kiting and he has just went out of Mega Gnar, he can actually beat you, because if he is in Mega Gnar, he has no chance against Darius basically. So you want to make sure that later on you fight him while he is in Mega Gnar and not Mini Gnar, which kind of sounds the wrong way, because most people's perception of Gnar is that he's actually stronger in the Mega form, but not in 1 versus 1 versus people like Darius. So as you can see here, first back, I went Ruby Crystal and Longsword, and this is basically building into Black Cleaver of course. If I was taking a bit more damage in the lane, and if he was playing a bit more aggressively, or he spaced autos a bit better, I might have gone actually Doran Shield to make sure that I lived throughout the early game. But he isn't really landing that much damage on me, so I feel this is the best items to build, even though it is quite greedy indeed. And I'm also sorry if my webcam actually covers the minimap, but I'll make sure that I tell you what's going on. Okay. So here I just want to make sure that I get pushed in, because I feel Lee is actually gonna look for a top lane gank, and he is actually topside right now. I can see that on the replay, but obviously I do not have that information while I'm in the game. But it's for me right here, Lee's pathing kinda lines up with a topside clear now. So there's no reason for me to take any risk, and Gnar was shoving pretty hard, so as long as I can land all of these last hits, it's very worth it for me to not take any risks. As you can see, I missed one, but that's fine. As long as you hit I would say 70 to 80% of the last hits on the turret, it's generally worth it, because if you don't need to pressure topside of course, because you will not be in any risk of getting ganked and stuff. And in solo queue actually I would say, even at this elo, but lower it's even more this way. As you can see Gnar there, he tunnels so hard on actually pushing the minions into my turret that I can get opportunities to land a harass on him. And even better, if he tries harassing me under turret and I get a hook on him, then he's dead to the tower range. So here we go for a gank. I'm basically baiting this. I flash for the dunk and the 5 stacks, Nautilus misses his hook, but it's all good, he dies to the dot, so that's fine. I could have probably saved my flash there, but I didn't want to trust that like Nautilus hit all his spells and like dealt the right amount of damage, because with my bleed and with my ultimate there, I probably dealt around like 400 damage, and it takes quite a while for Nautilus to deal 400 damage at this stage of the game. He wasn't even level 6, so I don't want to risk it, and if Lee comes for a counter gank, we're pretty screwed. So it's always better to like secure the kills with summoners. As is, I knew that he didn't have flash because we ganked him earlier. That was a really safe gank to go for, and it's also good that Nautilus utilizes that we have a summoner advantage in top lane, so that's good on his part. Okay, so now I start into building the rest of the components to Black Cleaver. As you can see here, they actually changed the recipe. Before it was the Caulfield's Hammer instead of Killgam. I actually feel like this build path is a bit worse, honestly. I really like the extra AD, and I found myself, like, now that Black Cleaver gives 10 less total AD, I found that you don't really, like, one-shot the backline minions, the caster minions with Q, as easily. So I've actually, like, most of the time wanted to go into either Sterak's Gauge, or at least, like, the component of it, I can't remember the name, but the one that gives AD, HP, and it stacks up as you last hit. It stacks up more HP as you last hit. Either that one, or I go into a Tiamat if I'm, like, really ahead, because I really value one-shotting the wave with Q. And now with the 10 less AD you don't really do that, so I will have to find like a better fix for it, but now most of the time I feel like Sterak's Gauge second item is actually really good because of this. And since you have more HP from Black Cleaver, however, it scales better with Sterak's Gauge, so there's a lot of synergy there. You could also swap out some of your AD runes, I feel like. I've seen that people do that in Korea actually. They swap up one attack speed quintessence for one AD quintessence, and I think that actually solves the problem for at least the like mid game, and you will actually one-shot the backline minions with the Q then. But this is kind of like nitty-gritty, but if you play a lot of Darius you will for sure notice these kinds of things, and you will like start missing creeps, and you'll be like, what is going on? And I'm just telling you like the alternatives to fix this problem that I found now, but obviously if I find something better I will like post it in the comments and stuff like that. So, but now basically that we've gotten the gank off, you can see I'm playing really aggressively, and if that Q lands, Gnar is like so low and I get a lot of HP back, so that was really unfortunate. I was like a couple of pixels away there, so that was quite unlucky. But I'm not gonna show you the entire game. Although, spoilers, we actually win, and I go like something like 16-2 this game, and Gnar goes like 2-12. But that's the thing with like lane bullies such as Gnar. If you're not really adept with playing like Mega Gnar in fights and timing it correctly, and you can't always do that because you need synergy with your team, and this is solo queue, which is why I wouldn't recommend Gnar for solo queue unless you absolutely crush lane, which in case just play Teemo, come on. But then I feel like Darius is so much better, especially we have a Soraka this game, and I honestly like love playing champions such as Darius or Jax or Irelia with champions like Soraka, Karma or stuff like that, because you feel it's so unstoppable later on, especially if you go like, you can build a lot more damage if you have these kinds of supports, because they make you more tanky in fights, so you can get away with some cheesy builds. I actually went Moth Malmorpheus this game, and I like one-shot their entire team. It was really fun. But this video is about the laning phase, and honestly, I feel like if you just do what I do with Darius in this matchup, and obviously this Gnar is not playing that good, I think it's, however, like, he sits in Diamond 1, so he's not a bad player by any case, but I think he's like an Akali main. He has like 20 Gnar games in ranked or something like that, so I mean, he's not terrible, but he's not great either. But if you just like play pretty safe when you think you will get ganked, don't take any like unnecessary risks, and just go for good trades, I feel like you'll win most of your matchups. So here I go for the dunk. Nautilus comes for the gank, but I think we get him here. Oh, he actually misses his hook. That was quite unlucky. He got his Mega Gnar in the right timing, so that was quite unlucky, but it's still like I use my ult for him to almost die, and we get a lot of pressure topside, so that's fine. The next time I'm gonna look for all-in, I probably will have it anyways, so it's not that big of a problem. I'm obviously gonna base here because I'm out of mana. I'm gonna buy Black Cleaver and Boots. Boots is very important on Darius. Actually, this is actually like rather awkward because I feel like Ninja Tabis is so good in this matchup, but I obviously had like the exact right goal to go for Ninja Tabis. Oh, I mean Black Cleaver, so probably better. The thing that makes Black Cleaver so good on Darius, for those who don't know, is that every time you deal physical damage you get the movement speed increase, and if you have a dot on like someone, you get the movement speed increase constantly, so that's really good. So now since we had a bit of a trouble, I feel like, in the bot lane, you can see there's 0 and 5. I feel like I have a better chance pushing down this turret 1v1 versus Gnar, so we basically swapped. And of course they could have like stayed 2v1, but that's not like that viable, so it's whatever. We'll lose the tower top side though for the swap, but it's fine. I feel like I won't get this. Oh, I actually flashed for it. As you can see there, you basically short the Q and you think it's gonna be out of range, and you basically want to make sure you don't flash too far or too short. You want to flash in the right distance so that you land the Q on him with the flash. And that's like the most important thing on Darius. If you want to like practice anything mechanically on the champion, it's just flash Qs basically. It's like the most important thing for sure. I can't like count how many times I've landed kills because of the flash Q. So yeah, although there I could have probably just flashed and then Q'd, but it's so awkward. So yeah, here Victor thinks he can like harass me for free, but I just chunk him pretty hard with my combo, so quite unlucky for him. I'm really strong at the moment, so this is really good. But I feel like the laning phase is pretty much over now. Now it translates more into mid game. I'm gonna try to pressure this turret, and then we're gonna start grouping and stuff like that. But this was a rather solid showcase on how to play Darius. As you can see now, I'm about 35 CS ahead, so I won the lane really hard, and I've had some help by Nautilus for sure. But you have to remember, like, if you get advantages in lane, especially in solo queue, and you have like a decent jungler, which you will have most of the time. Of course, junglers will like suck from time to time. I think this jungler is actually outfield, so he's done a great job early game, although he played pretty badly later, but it doesn't matter. Like, if he gets his lanes ahead, this is actually a tip for if you're outfield jungler as well. Don't like try to AFK farm and carry by yourself. Try to like get your laners ahead so they can actually carry, because this is what Nautilus did this game, and as you can see, me and Syndra are in a really good position to carry, and we actually ended up carrying this game. So, but anyways guys, thanks a lot for watching this video. If you want more guides like this, like main laning and certain matchups guides, make sure to tell me in the comments and I will be sure to respond to them. But anyways, thanks a lot for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.